Hey, and for this assignment, Chapter 6, I chose Marty Robbins. He's a country artist that has been near and dear in my heart, and I grew up listening to him, so I hope you enjoy. Martin Robertson was born on September 16th, 1925 in Glendale, Arizona. He was born into a poor family and traveled frequently, and he tended to do cowboy duties rather than his studies. And through him not being too active or interested in his studies, he would not finish high school, but this was mostly because he decided to join the Navy during the midst of World War II. This was very important because this is where he learned how to play guitar and experience different sounds and Hawaiian tunes. After returning from the war, he pursued a singing career and changed his name to the one we know now as Marty Robbins, and this was a suggestion from one of his friends. He would play in clubs and radio stations, and eventually he had his own television show, The Western Caravan. In his early career, his big break came when Jimmy Dickens guested on his show and began to encourage his record company to give him a contract. Through this, he joined Columbia Records and would remain with them until 1972. In 1952, he would release his first single, Love Me or Leave Me Alone. The song wasn't really a big hit and didn't stick with the audience well, and neither did the follow-up. However, his third release, I'll Go On Alone, soared to number one and became a hit. Following its success, he signed a publishing deal with Acuff Rose and became a member of the Grand Ole Opry. In 1956, his career launched by a song Singing the Blues staying number one in the pop charts for 13 weeks. The release of the song made him a star, but when Guy Mitchell did a cover of the song, it quickly jumped to number one on the pop charts. This happened with the next few songs that Robbins would release. For example, his release of Knee Deep in the Blues, which only appeared number 3 in country charts and didn't appear on the pop charts. However, he did try to combat this, and he turned to Roy Conniff, an easy-listening conductor, for his next singles. Following into this decision, his next release, A White Sport Coat and a Pink Carnation, would put him at the top of country charts and number 2 in the pop charts, giving him his breakthrough. Following this success, he would also record rockabilly albums and Hawaiian albums that would gain their own audience in 1958. He would also find himself starring in different films as well, such as The Drifter, The Marty Robbins Show, and a few others. Him being in Western films really established and reinforced how his interest was towards the whole Western scene. And his most notable hit following this to play on it was El Paso, released in the summer of 1959. The song sat for 6 months in the country charts, and then the later released album, Gunfighter Ballads and Trail Songs, would do equally successful and even hit platinum by the mid-1960s. Later, he would introduce a new sound in a country recording not heard in the genre before, a fuzz-toned guitar. The guitar was featured on the song Don't Worry Now and was received and accepted very well. In 1972, he left Columbia Records to join Decca to make a few records that reached minor success in comparison to his previous releases. In 1974, he became the last person to perform at the Ryman and later first to play at the new Grand Ole Opry. He would later rejoin Columbia in 1975 and released hits such as El Paso City and Among My Souvenirs. On October 11th, 1982, Marty Robbins would be inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. 7 weeks later, however, he suffered a heart attack on December 2nd and then would die on December 8th, 1982. Robbins has been honored by multiple bands such as The Grateful Dead, Bob Wire and Kingfish, The Who, and The Beast of Bourbon. The Grateful Dead covered El Paso, and Big Iron was covered by Bob Wire and Kingfish. The Who's album Endless Wire contains a song named God Speaks of Marty Robbins. The composer stated, "The song is about God deciding to create the universe just so he can hear some music, and most of all, one of his best creations, Marty Robbins." The Beast of Bourbon released a song titled The Day Marty Robbins Died on their 1984 debut album. Overall, we see that Marty Robbins has become a successful country artist by being not afraid to break norms and trying new things. His success would not be the same if he had not ventured and experimented with the new sounds. His life and legacy has left an impact on many artists and even influenced many artists in the future. Overall, I hope you really enjoyed this, and this is my presentation.